students. I am so excited to get to share this lesson with you and not really connect over face-to-face, but at least connect a little bit. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and I hope you've gotten some relaxation time. And I want to challenge you to a little 10-minute movement challenge. So if you're at home, walk outside, do some jumping jacks, walk around the block, whatever you guys feel like doing for 10 minutes, go outside, do something. Today we're going to be kind of talking about irregular verbs and subject-verb agreements. So before we do anything, I have two sentences, and I just want you guys to think in your head about which sentence might sound a little funny. So I'm going to say two sentences. I want you to pause the video, say which sentence you think sounds funny out loud, come back, like unpause the video, and then we'll talk about it. So the first sentence is, I am running. I am running. Okay? Second sentence, I is running. I is running. Here's where I want you to pause the video, and then when you come back, we'll talk about which sentence sounded funny. All right, so sentences sounded funny to me, and whether you guys were right or wrong, that's totally okay. We're just going to talk about it. You guys haven't learned about it, so if you were wrong, that's okay. The sentence that sounded funny to me is, I is running. And I know that just because it sounded weird to me. And today we're going to be talking about why it sounded weird. And I know we've been learning a lot about subject-verb agreement. So singular verbs or singular subjects go with singular verbs. Plural subjects go with plural verbs. We haven't really talked about any of the rule breakers or things that are irregular. So these irregular verbs make it hard for us to choose which subject they go with. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit today. And what I want you to get out right now is your writer's notebook. And then I've also shared a link with you guys. And I just want you to pull that up just to have it. So we're going to be going on that link. You guys don't need to because we'll walk through it. And here you see, it's highlighted, so it's the sentence we were talking about sounds funny. I is running. That just sounds funny to me. So because it sounds funny, I have found this chart that helps us with the subject and then the verb that are the verbs that are irregular. So our first step is to look at the subject, which is I. So we go down to I, and I know it's in the present tense, so I'm just going to go straight to present tense I. And I am running. So we know it sounded funny because that wasn't the correct verb. And so when we fill in here, I am running, that sounds a lot better. And these verbs sometimes are hard to get used to, and they're hard to get like normalized in your head. So this chart right here is going to be your best friend for a little bit until you start getting the hang of it and can say it off the top of your head. This verb is, or this chart is where you guys are going to want to come to and when you need help. So now I am going to, well, we as a class are going to come down to this chart. And as you can see, it's a little filled in, but we're going to go back and redo it. So as you can see, there's a original sentence on the left-hand column, and then there's a correct subject-verb agreement. So what I want you guys to do is follow along with me, and we're going to figure out how to fix these sentences. Some of them need fixed, some of them don't. I want you guys to really listen, because that's how it helps me. When I listen to a sentence and it sounds wrong, I have to go back and fix it. So let's walk through the first two, and then I want you guys to pause the video and do the rest. So the first one is, I were going to the store with my mom. I were going to the store with my mom. That sounds a little funny to me, so I'm going to come back up here to this chart. And because I know that it was past tense, I'm going to go to past tense. And we use the subject I, and so I'm going to go to here to was. I'm going to go back down here, click on this column, and put was. And then I just want you guys to re-say it out loud with the correct verb. I was going to the store with my mom. That sounds a lot better. So I want to scroll back up here and just talk about this chart really quick before we go into the next one. So if we know it's supposed to be a present tense verb, these are going to be all of your present tense irregular verbs. So with the subject I, we're going to use am, do, or have. With the subject you, we, they, or students, we're going to use are, do, or have. With she, he, it, or Lucy, we're going to use is, does, has. So now we look at past tense. And we look at I, and it's was, did, or had. You, we, they, students will be were, did, or had. And then the last one, she, he, it, Lucy would be was, did, or had. And I know I went through that very fast, but really all you have to worry about is going to present tense or past tense, finding your subject, and then finding the correct verb. So let's go down here. The students does homework during class. That sounds a bit off. The students, okay? So I go here because I think that it might be present tense, and I go to students, and I go over to do. Do. Now let's reread it. The students do homework during class. Now that sounds correct. And if a sentence is already correct, you don't have to put anything in the box. You just leave it. So I want you guys to pause the video and write in your writer's notebook that I asked you to get out the correct verb for each one. When you're done, come back and push play. Okay, now that you guys are back, I want to go over this stuff. So, she has the best pair of running shoes. She has best pair. That sounds correct to me, but I just want to double check. So, we go up here to she, and we know that it's has. Awesome, so I don't have to fill it in. I is going to the library after school. I want to check that because I don't know if it's right or wrong. I am going to the library after school. That sounds correct. So I'm going to reread it. I am going to the library after school. That sounds right. Good job, guys. She am on the beach building a sandcastle. Now that sounds wrong to me, but I want to go up to the chart and see what to fill it in with. She is. Let's try is. She is on the beach building a sandcastle. Nice job. So what I do want to go over really quick with you guys is what if here I went to she and I put does, because maybe that's the verb I think that it fills in with. So I put does. So when I reread it, it says, she does on the beach building a sandcastle. I know that that doesn't make sense, and I know that that might not be the right verb. So then maybe I test it again, and I think it's has. So I put has. She has on the beach building a sandcastle. Well, that doesn't make sense either, so I'm going to stick with is. You guys can trial and error if that works for you. It just depends on what you guys want to do. So good job with that activity. If you got all of them right, great. If you got 2 of them right, great. If you got 1 of them right, great. If you got 0 right, still great. All we want to do is try to get better at this topic. Subject-verb agreements are hard, and with irregulars, they're going to be hard. So make sure you're using your handy-dandy chart to help you. So next, what we're going to do is you guys are going to find your most favorite story that you've ever written in your writer's notebook. And what I want you to do is read through that story. And if it's an irregular subject-verb agreement and you guys got it right, I want you to just highlight it. If it's a subject-verb agreement and it's irregular and you guys got it wrong, just write over it in a different color just so we can see, okay? And once you guys are done with that, I want you to snap a picture and come down to this chart. And then I want you guys to put the picture that you decided to take of your writer's notebook. So whatever story you decided to fix, put it in this. And then when you're done with that, I want you guys to really focus on the subject-verb agreement with irregulars. And I want you guys to focus on using that chart. So pause now, do that, and when you come back, we'll have more to talk about. Alrighty, class, good job with that. I am so proud of you guys for following along today, and I really hope you guys are staying healthy and safe, and I cannot wait to see you whenever that is, because I miss you guys a lot. One thing that I do want to say is subject-verb agreements, there always has to be one in a sentence. Now, whether that's right or wrong, you just have to make sure that the subject always agrees with the verb, and the verb always agrees with the subject. With these irregulars, it's going to be hard for a while, but I want you guys to really focus on connecting that chart with this, because the chart is something you put in your toolbox. That is something you can have and you can use for the next however long it takes you to get used to them. And then really use your ears, because I know a lot of times it's hard, but you can usually hear if something sounds right or wrong. Good job today, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Make sure to do that movement challenge, and I hope to see you guys soon.